Welcome to Season 2 of Red Sox Digest, the only show where pain, sarcasm, and false hope collide nightly, like a Masataka Yoshida ground out to second. We break down every loss, every meltdown, and the occasional win, with sarcasm, facts, and no front office spin. Subscribe today at RedSoxDigest.com, or keep wondering how a wildcard team spent an entire offseason avoiding power hitters. And now, here's the crew at Red Sox Digest.
Here is the brave crew here tonight of the Red Sox Digest team. That was a fun weekend, everybody. Wasn't that great? It's been a wonderful stretch for this team right now. But we're the brave souls that are going to sit here and talk about it the best we can without seeing steam come across the top of our heads. We'll do the best we can with what we've got. I hope everybody is having a great Sunday evening and had a great weekend. I am Nick. I am one of the hosts of our show. I have the pleasure of also having Thayer Doyle with us and John Martinello. John did not have a game this evening, so he's able to be seen tonight. The ghost of John is gone. He is here live and at you. So we will get into breaking down this series against the Pittsburgh Pirates in just a few. The Red Sox could only muster one win, which was last night's game. And truth be told, they got lucky winning that because they went into the ninth inning with a 1-0 lead. So we'll talk about that there a little bit. And then, of course, we did talk about the Blue Jays series too, but I think that it's still a recurring struggle for this team to figure out how to get back to that crazy 30-day month that we went on style of baseball. So why don't we jump right on in with everything here? As always, you can comment on the side if you have something that you'd like to say or add that's appropriate enough for us to talk about. We'll get to our comments section a little bit later here this evening. Tonight, we will also preview the series ahead where the Red Sox return back to Fenway Park for a 3-game set against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And then Rafi Devers and Marcelo Meyer come back to Fenway Park for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for this upcoming week. So Diamondbacks and Giants National League style baseball for this week ahead at Fenway Park. And Fenway Park has to get back into playing baseball again after they were rocking it out with Chris Stapleton and all of them this past weekend at Fenway Park. So why don't we jump right in? So Thayer, let's go to you first. I want to go around the horn here a little bit and ask everybody, what was their biggest takeaway from what we stomached this weekend in Pittsburgh? Thayer, spotlight is on you.
My biggest takeaway is they've gone away from playing the style of baseball that was working for them for most of that winning streak. The idea of moving runners along, we'll say playing small ball, but it doesn't necessarily always include bunting. But doing the smart, logical things on the base paths and at the plate, and they've gone away from that. They have guys that are struggling tremendously. Rafaela is basically, he just swung at the next pitch that he's going to face tomorrow. He starts swinging the minute he's in the box. His head's not there. They're tired. They're wiped out. Yet Tracy isn't doing anything to help assist the situation. He thinks they're going to hit 3-run home runs. Today they got down a little bit, but they had opportunities. Now, granted, the first bunt attempt didn't go well. And then we ended up grounding into the double play. But then they didn't bunt again, and we ended up not moving anybody over. They have to start to do those little things, especially when this team is struggling, because they don't have the talent necessary to drive the ball all over the ballpark. Abreu's hot, yes, but he's about the only one right now. Contreras isn't doing it. Duran certainly isn't doing it. Said Rafaela isn't doing it. So you must start to, score runs by making productive outs. And again, we've seen that this whole thing, that even when they have men on second, they're not doing that either. But at least they have to put themselves in the position to potentially score runs without getting hits, because right now the bats are struggling tremendously.
John, what's your big takeaway from this weekend?
So it was a really tough watch. Even in the game yesterday where they win 4-0, and it goes back to the Blue Jays series. These guys just don't. The bats are just turned off right now, and I think that's the most frustrating part. I could deal with a couple pitchers just not having their stuff and giving up, 8 runs in a game. But when the offense when the offense has 0 or 1 runs, today it was 3, but it was off 1 swing. When you're not scoring runs for the first 7-8 innings of a game, and you only start putting together productive at-bats in the 9th inning, it's just a lot of stuff that happened in the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. Guys are still getting on base, but it's with 2 outs. And when you are getting that, I think there was 3 innings today before the game got blown open where you had 1 or 2 guys on base with 0 or 1 outs, and there you nailed it. They're kind of just they're just not playing that brand of baseball that we saw them play over the course of 30, if you want to call it that 27-3 stretch, or that 32-8 stretch, whatever it may be. They're just not playing the same brand of baseball that they were when they were winning baseball games. And obviously, as I mentioned, the pitching hasn't been the greatest pitching you've ever seen over a certain period of time. They've come back down to reality. Guys are hurt. Guys are going through things. We saw it today with Patrick Sandoval. Evidently, he's been dealing with a blister in his foot, and he looked very uncomfortable out on the mound. You go back over to Friday, Jake Bennett, it's his inning total this year. It looks like he's hit kind of just a wall at this point. They're going to this bullpen day tomorrow because they just need to give Peyton Tolley, Jake Bennett, probably Ranger Suarez as well. They need to give these guys an extra day. So the pitching's taxed, as we've been saying now for a while. The lineup, again, it's just been all these guys that kind of just all got hot at the right time, all at the same time with one another. And now, they're cooling off pretty fast. Thayer mentioned it. Cedar Rafaela, he's swinging at 75% of pitches right now. He's chasing, I think, 70% of the time as well. It's just really, and you know what? In the Toronto series, he got away with it. I think coming into today, he was still 7 for his last 23 at the plate. So sure, he got lucky, and you go look at the batted ball data. He was not smoking the baseball. It was, a pitch a foot out of the strike zone that he was looping over the second baseman's head. So it's not sustainable. Having 5-6 quadruple A players in your lineup every day is not sustainable. And this is, these are the type of games that you're going to watch, and the final scores that you're going to see. I'm assuming until we get, these reinforcements back, being Roman Anthony, Trevor Story, IKF if you want to throw him in there, but
our Lord and Saviors, they're coming.
They're coming. $6 million is going to be back before you know it. But yeah, it was just a really tough series to watch. Nothing, there were errors, there were uncompetitive at bats, there were just a lack of discipline and command from the pitching side of things, and we had that one just asshole fan on Friday night who was swinging or screaming swing right before every single pitch. That honestly got under my skin. That I didn't have fun listening to that, but all in all, it's just a tough series to watch. And you got 3 more games before the 16-game and 16-day stretch is over. It's 3 series losses in a row. You're finally going back home after a 2-5 road trip. You just really hope that these guys can, are able to sleep in their own beds tonight, kind of flip a switch going into tomorrow and start playing some better baseball before the day off and before, as Nick said, Rafael Devers and Marcelo Meyer come to town.
Sorry, I have a baby dinosaur on the prowl right now. Go sit down. Go sit down. He's more trained than some of these players on this Red Sox team, but that's beside the point here. I am having a tough time myself just watching and rooting and hoping that something's going to happen for this team. I tweeted out, there was a couple people that were reaching out that said, "Oh, you've been quiet for the past 3 or 4 days. Why haven't you said much?" I honestly haven't focused on the team. I've had other things going on, and they're boring. They're dull. They're back to where they were from the beginning of the season. And I'm sorry if some people don't like that. Oh, well, you're a jerk. You're not a fan. I am a fan. But if they don't give a crap, why should I give a crap? I'm sorry. Like, the product that you're seeing right now is back to exactly what you saw from late March into mid to late June, up until the Yankees came to town. And then we just went on this whirlwind of 30 days where it was insanity. And now you're right back to planet Earth again. You are on another planet for a month. That's exactly what that was. You got some luck in there. You got some timely hits. But folks, please remember that even on this stretch that they went for 30 days, they still didn't hit worth a lick. They got timely hits. They were clutch. That's what they got. They were able to manufacture runs, play smart baseball. I feel like the wheels fell off the entire chain right now. One of the things that I do want to jump into as we talk about the series here is I do want to talk about the injury bug. So right now we have lots of injuries with the team. We have obviously Garrett Whitlock. We have now Justin Slaten, now Masataka Yoshida. So running on a hit last night, that was a double. Yoshida likely tore his hamstring. We haven't really heard much about what was going on there, but you could see it. And then my buddy, who I am tired of fans continuing to say is somebody that is part of a super pen. Justin Slaten is an injury-prone has-been. He is. I'm sorry if people don't like what I have to say about it, but I'm coming at this being real. He is a worse version of Matt Barnes. He is unreliable, can't trust him, don't know what you're going to get from him, constantly has problems with his arm. Get rid of him. Goodbye. Get out of my life. That's how I feel. Now on the Yoshida front, I'm a little sorry for the guy because I think he finally was starting to turn a corner and be a productive part of a lineup. Where he slotted in, it all mattered on kind of the production that you got, because I hated him as leadoff, but I was fine with him if he was like a 6 or 7 guy where you could move the runner along to help manufacture runs. Now Yoshida is down. I think it hurts the team, guys. I really do. For a player that we couldn't wait to exile off to Siberia, he was actually quite productive, especially during the hot stretch that they were on. Was hitting for about a 330 clip as well. Let's talk about it. John, where your thoughts are on the Slaten injury and Yoshida?
Yeah, I mean, as far as Justin Slaten goes, it's the guy just can't seem to put together more than like a month and 2 months at most at a time without landing on the IL. For him, it's kind of similar to what Garrett Whitlock has gone down with in the last couple of days. Just elbow inflammation, elbow soreness. Slaten said today that, he's been dealing with it for a while, and yesterday it was just more sore than usual, and they're just being precautionary, or they're taking just cautious actions against it. I think right now it's just a 10-day IL stint. Hopefully, 2 weeks, don't throw a baseball, come back, and hopefully by then he's feeling better. None of this between him and Whitlock really seems too severe right now. Obviously, that's subject to change, as we've seen with a ton of these injuries this year, from pitchers, hitters, everything in between. Probably some of the medical people that are affiliated with the Red Sox are on the IL too, because whoever's doing their job there just hasn't done a good job at it this year. But listen, last 15 games, Justin Slaten, it's been 13 innings, it's 11 hits, it's 4 runs, it's 2.77 ERA. He's been doing really well since he's come back from the IL. I think it was in June, right before the team got hot. So, losing him, I want to say it's a bad thing, but it's also not the worst thing in the world. There's a ton of depth. And also when you have a bullpen that's at, they're A-list of a bullpen, there's no just inning eater arms in there. They're all high leverage guys. So, for the time being, I don't think it's the end of the world, but obviously if this thing lingers past, we go on to a month and we don't see Justin Slaten or Garrett Whitlock again until the playoffs, it's going to become a major issue, because if they, if the next time we see him is in a win or go home game, I personally can't say that I'm going to be able to have faith in him in that type of scenario.
I'm right with you.
Yeah. So for the time being, it's I'm not too concerned about it. I think that all these guys, they've been incredibly taxed. They deserve to have a little bit of time off. Hopefully it's not anything longer than 2 weeks.
Thayer, what do you think?
The Red Sox are in ICU and they need some FMLA. Really what ultimately needs to happen is a hurricane needs to roll through and wipe out like a week of just rain. What is probably the issue with this team, and we've been saying it all year long and last year, was you're playing with a roster that is made up of a majority of quadruple A and sort of journeymen, and they're starting to become exposed. That month and a half, like, it was just outstanding and just everything fit. And unfortunately, what we've been talking about, the innings issues for the young kids, it's all hitting at the same time, is injuries to Whitlock, injuries to Slaten. You have Sandoval, who can't get the job done right now. The only people you can even rely on right now at this current case is Sonny Gray and Tolley. And Tolley, we know, is he's going to hit that. He's going to hit the wall sooner than later. I don't see it not happening. So you also have Suarez that you were trying to rely on, but he's coming back from something. So you have nobody that you can rely on in your pitching staff. Your bullpen, which carried you through that winning streak, is exhausted. They physically cannot post. And when they do, they have nothing. You saw that with Guerrero. We were worried about Chapman coming in. Now we have to deal with Whitlock's injury. So Chapman can't go anywhere. The rest we needed to get Chapman is not going to happen. He's going to continue to pitch at sort of 75, 80% of his abilities. That's just going to dwindle any storage of energy he has. The offense is incapable. There's nobody on this offense capable of carrying them enough. Like Abreu, great. He's fantastic, but he still doesn't have that ability to carry an entire offense. They're struggling. I just was talking a little bit a while ago. I can't believe we're still 5 games up.
Yeah.
The only hope that this Red Sox team has is that they somehow can try to win the Tolley starts and they can win the Gray starts. I don't expect them to win any other starts for about a week and a half. We're looking at the 2011. This feels very much like the September of the 2011 season, the chicken and bear, when we were throwing out Nick Face,
fat and happy,
and John Martinello because the whole pitching staff was obliterated and they were just throwing out anyone that could pick up a baseball and throw it 60 feet, 6 inches, and praying to God that the offense would score enough runs. But what was happening is the offense wasn't getting it done because the pressure was mounting on them, very much like we saw the pressure mounting on the pitching staff all year because the offense wasn't getting it done. Now that the pitching staff is starting to struggle, the offense is nowhere near capable of producing enough. So they have just got to tread water right now and pray to God that Anthony can come back sooner than later and be productive, that Rutschman can sort of find out whatever's going on with him because he does not look like he's ready at all. And God help us, Trevor Story can come back and at least be another body because people are dropping like flies. And that's the issue. We have the injuries and we have the unproductive players on the team at the moment. And we talk about we want to punt these guys to the sun. I know someone mentioned something about get rid of Duran and get rid of Sogard. Fine, do that. Who do you have? You're going to play Eli White all the time? I'm sorry, his at-bats haven't looked all that great. And who are we going to bring up? We can bring up, Chang from the minor leagues, but he played fantastic defense, but his offense was a lackluster. So there's no silver. There's nothing coming other than Anthony and Story. God help us. So they just have to survive until maybe some guys get healthy and they can sort of get enough rest and roll it over.
You know, during this stretch that we've been on, we never really heard much criticism about Craig Breslow and management. Everybody was praising them, saying, oh, look at this turnaround. They're doing their job. Extend Breslow now. He's safe. Are we still saying that right now, guys?
It's what I said the other day. It's time to start to, his grace period is over. It's time to start to critique the moves that he's making. In today's loss, what was it? Final score 8-3. It very possibly could have been different if they did some things differently. He's going to have to manage this team as if it really is like a high school team. You have to play for a run. You cannot assume multiple hits an inning. You have to try to get productive outs. If a man is on third base and less than one out and you have a guy that's struggling, there's nothing wrong with the safety squeeze. There's nothing wrong with trying to do something like that. Put men in motion when guys are struggling. Rafaela can't hit water if he fell out of a boat right now, but instead of putting something on a hit and run that'll allow him to focus a little bit more, get the ball, force the ball to get a little deeper and try to make contact, they're doing no such thing like that. And it's not putting your players into a spot where they can be productive and successful.
John, what do you think regarding Breslow management? Everybody felt like, oh, we're all good now. John Henry's licking his ice cream cones. He's so happy his team's so good. Where are we at right now? Is this sell the team mode again? What do you feel?
I don't think we're quite back there yet.
Yeah.
But I do think that it was really weird during that hot streak. Like, I mean, for the first 3 months of the season, every single night was sell the team at Fenway Park, Craig Breslow, get him out of here. And then, they start winning all these games. And if you even mention, not even like trying to diss Breslow or diss, the front office or ownership, people would come after you and they'd get pissed fast. I wonder what would happen right now, Nick, if you put out a tweet saying Craig Breslow needs to go. Like, I just wonder where the opinions would be, because it's just so recency bias based. I still have the same opinion on Craig Breslow as I did going into the year. I think that he's learning every single season. He's getting a little bit better every single season. This, like last year, he wasn't ballsy enough outside of the Devers trade. That's something I think that he had to do. He was told to do. But then the trade deadline, he was just indecisive. Whereas this year he was just super, super aggressive. So I think he's just been kind of impulsive, I think would be a good way to put it in my own words, but he still has a lot to prove. I mean, there's nothing at this point. It's kind of just what are the guys on the 40 man. It's up to them on, what they provide on the field. He can't do anything else to change what, people are going to think of him this year. Next time we could have an opinion on him is really going to be the off season. See what moves he makes then. Obviously we have the lockout coming up, but I think my thoughts more so go over to Chad Tracy and kind of what he's doing with the team. And, Thayer, again, you talked about it. Why are they going away from the hit, from the hit and run or from the sack bunt or a suicide squeeze, when this team is struggling to get offense going? Mm-hmm. Because we saw it during the hot streak. It's when they started doing that, it was infectious. Then they'd get the guy over, get a run in, and then they'd stack 1 or 2 or 3 hits together. And they, put a 1-run inning, turn it into a 4-run inning.
Yep.
Now it's, as we saw these past couple of days, it's runners on first and second, no outs. Runners on second and third and no outs. And just they're just not playing small ball. Like, I mean, if you're in the dugout, Thayer, Nick, runners on second and third and no outs, are you going to get more amped up over a sac fly or a suicide squeeze where you get the run in? You're going to be up over you're going to be up over the railing. You're going to be losing your minds. Like, mm-hmm. It's stuff like that that's just contagious and just kind of just changes the momentum in a game. and they're just, they're playing. They're playing right now just safe baseball.
Yes.
And it's not leading to wins. This isn't a team that can just, all right, maybe we'll get a big home run this inning. They have to go and grind it, be gritty. They have to go and earn every single run that they're going to get, because they don't have anybody in the lineup that's going to go, that they don't have an Aaron Judge or a Ben Rice for, just say what the other guys are doing right now, that can come up at any given moment and go and hit you a home run in the 10th inning and win you a game.
Let's go to this mess that happened today. So I've made it pretty crystal clear that back when this move happened about 2 years ago, I never was a fan. I never was going to be a fan. Never understood why they signed Patrick Sandoval. And then he finally made his way back just after the All-Star break. Today was his biggest clunker of them all. 4 innings, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 3 walks. He did have 6 strikeouts. Overall for his season, he's had 7 starts, if you want to call them starts, guys, because he was really going, 3-4 innings at times? He's got a 1-2 record with a 4.76 ERA, 35 Ks and 34 innings. So you can take that strikeout numbers for whatever you want with it. It's not good enough. Sorry, it's not. But where are the Red Sox at with this right now? Oh, and also, by the way, folks, if you didn't hear the report after the game, baby boy here, Patty Sandoval's, has a blister on his toe or foot, whatever you want to call it. Take that for whatever you'd like. But I'm going to keep it clean. If you guys want to jump down his throat, go right ahead.
Nick,
Meow, meow.
did you enjoy watching Eduardo? Did you enjoy watching, what was his name?
Rivera.
Eduardo Rivera pitch?
No,
that too would replace this man.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I understand. Punt him to the moon. I'd love to, but we can't. At least this guy has some professional experience. He has some guile. Yes, he looked terrible today, but we don't have an option. There's no choice. There's no getting rid of this guy and then we're going to snap our fingers and here comes Crochet healthy. That's not happening. We're not going to simply turn around and, oh, look, Tanner Houck is back to form. That's just not going to be the case. Heck, we have to go with Brian Bayo tomorrow. If and when the person who's throwing the first inning, Gamboa or whatever his name, gives up 15 runs, then we'll bring in Bayo.
Gumby going tomorrow, folks. Get ready.
But that's what this is going to be. They're already pushing guys back. They are simply just trying to get a human being who has some ability to throw the ball right now. That's where they're at. And yes.
So you're saying there's a hope for yourself, John, and I to join this team?
There is, unfortunately.
Excellent.
But that is the problem. That's where we have been most of this year. And that's the side, I know these guys aren't living up to our expectations. But unfortunately, it's just what it is. There's no getting rid of them. There's no one better to bring up. There's no incredible man. And I know we're talking about, bring up Arias and Campbell's hitting the ball. Okay, fine. Bring them up and see what happens. Do you think that's going to be anything different? Why are these two players different than Mayer, different than Anthony, different than any of these other rookies that we talked about being the saviors of our team? Casas, Dahlbach, you name it. Suddenly these two guys, one who hasn't even, who was up here for a little while and then we had to send down and hasn't been able to move in a positive direction in over a year. Why suddenly do we think those guys are going to come up here and whoop, everything's going to change? It's just not the case. We have to, it's not even a matter of being realistic. We have to be pragmatic with how this is going to go. The team is going to struggle until they get whatever wind back into their sails. And it's going to be difficult with the injuries and the pitching limits. And it's unfortunate. They gave us an opportunity to roll. We're still 5 games up. I'm not ruling it out. I think they're going to still make the playoffs because the American League is so bad. They just have to bide their time, and it's going to stink. It's going to be terrible to watch it. But at the same time, I said it at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to say it now. This team is not quitting. I know you said it earlier. They don't care. I don't think that's the case at all. I think the players care very much. And that's why even during this terrible stretch, we're talking about guys coming up with men in scoring position in the 8th and the 9th inning and actually putting the tying runs on base. They're not rolling over like they were. They're trying. The problem is you're trying to defeat major league players with also rans, and it's going to be difficult until your pros, your Contrerases, and your Rafaelas are back and ready. And Adley Rutschman, he's an all-star, but he looks like he's got no idea what he's doing at the plate. Some of those swings it looks like he's swinging a telephone pole trying to hit a ball 500 feet instead of just like I haven't watched him all that much, but it always looked like he had a relatively nice compact swing. His swing is long, and it looks like he is pulling out entirely to get it heater. So I don't know whether he's trying to compensate for that wrist or not. So maybe they brought him back a little too early.
I like your statement on the whole thing about not caring, because I think that wasn't the right words I was trying to go for, because you're 100% right. They do fight and they try. That is 100% the truth. Case in point, look at what they did with the Blue Jays. Even when they were down, was it Wednesday? They were down a bunch and they still fought to make it a game. I think it's a lot of the times I look at it with maybe a thought on the pitching side of things where you don't see that compete level always there. I think some of the hitters are always going to try their best, even as much as Jarren Duran stinks. I think he's still trying.
Yes.
I look more so at guys where I personally need to see them step up, like a Ranger Suarez, for example.
Yes.
He's hurt this team quite a bit second half on. He hasn't done enough to warrant the contract and to put the team on his back. I look at this guy here, Sandoval, as well. I blame the Red Sox because they're the ones that signed him to this. And now we're stuck with dealing with a player who, for the most part, I feel like is like a JD Drew type, where everything has to be perfect. If he has a hangnail, you're going to hear about it. If he has a blister on his foot, you're going to hear about it. If he has a headache, a migraine, you're going to hear about it. If his elbow has a bump or bruise on it, you're going to hear about it. They should know better with the players that they sign, and they don't. They don't understand the players, the fortitude, the mental standpoint, everything that it is to play here in Boston. They still can't identify some of these guys. And I'm sorry, Patrick Sandoval should not be here. Jarren Duran should not have been here. They should have known the history on that. Ranger Suarez probably shouldn't be here, but it was a desperation move after Bregman was gone. They had to do something. Guys like a Caleb Durbin fit the identity of what it is to be a Red Sox. That right there, because you see the grit, the toughness, the figuring it out style, the give it your all attitude. Give me those kind of guys. But then again, you go and get guys like Trevor Story, who now we're all hoping and praying comes back and does something. I mean, it's Crazyville. It's Crazyville, USA sometimes. John, do you want anything else to add to Patrick Sandoval? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like the bottom line on him is it's unfortunate that we have to rely on him at the,
correct
in the current state of what things are at. Like before he, made his debut for the team and made his way, back up to the majors, we had zero expectations for him. Like this is what I would expect one of his, one of his bad starts to look like. It was a bad start, and going back to his blister and the talking about how bad these guys want it still, he was fighting demons on the mound today, and I'll give him credit for that. I wanted to put out a tweet that just like it looked like that he was having a Brian Bayo just like complete temper tantrum on the mound. I didn't put it out just because I didn't know what was going on. Like Chad Tracy and the trainers came out and he was like brushing him off and just every single pitch stomping his feet on the mound. He just looked so uncomfortable out there, and he still gave you another 2 innings after all the bad things happened, which I give him credit for. Like the guy's, he's giving it his all out there. He's just not a great pitcher. And he's given us, they're 5-2 with him in games that he starts. So obviously the last 2 have been losses, but for what he has to do on this team, I can't shit on him too much for it, just because, it's a body out there that we absolutely need right now. And as far as starting pitching goes, there's not much left. I mean, it's going to be an absolute pipe dream if Houck or Garrett Crochet come back. So this is kind of what we just have to deal with until Bayo can prove that he could start a game.
We knew with Alex Cora and Chad Tracy, they're protector types of managers where they don't like to really get confrontational and give too much to protect their guys. I am surprised that we heard the news about Patrick Sandoval with the blister on his foot. I am surprised that came out because people like myself look at that and I laugh because I understand he was hurt, but I look at that as, why are you giving us another thing? Why are you giving us the excuse? Don't give us the excuse. Just say something he wasn't himself today. We'll look to get him next time. That might have been what my style would have been to protect my guy, but they just put that out there. Oh, the Red Sox pretty much just saying, this is what we had to deal with. So now fans have a field day. Is that what they wanted? Am I looking too far into this? I saw your smirk. John, when you said
I just thought it was funny. No, I mean Sandoval today, he's the one that went
I heard they wanted you to go and pop it. That's what I heard. Okay, I'm done.
I don't like feet like that. I'm all good. But no,
Ryan loves them. We should have called Rexy up.
There we go. But no, he Sandoval went out and he talked to Alex Spear, it sounds like, after the game, and he's the one, that he told Alex Spear personally that he's had this blister on his foot the whole year and it's just a pain tolerance thing. There's another guy that's a pretty good big name with the Red Sox, and I'm not trying to defend Patrick Sandoval, but hindsight 2020, there's another guy in the Red Sox that has an injury that, whether it was correct or not, the Red Sox described it as pain tolerance for a long time, and that guy's going on a rehab assignment on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, like, at the end of the day, like, I'll just give credit where it's due to, like, he's posting, he's giving us innings where we desperately need him, and obviously he's not performing, what we would like, but again, his name's Patrick Sandoval, and what do we expect out of him? It's, he's not
Sandoval.
exactly this, but it's not something too far off.
Yeah, he's a Sandoval. I think that basically sums it up there. But
Yeah.
all in all, yes, Thayer, yes, John, and I'm in the same agreement. You will be continuing to see Patrick Sandoval because you do not have another choice, fans. So this right here was to get a discussion going. But yes, I do expect him to make his next start, bearing an amputation of his foot. Okay, I'm done. We will move on to the next one. All right, it's time to get Adley. Do we add and subtract? Do we multiply? Do we divide? How do we figure this mess out? Do we put the, what do you call it? The little Roman numeral thing with them? Do we add on it? All right, I'm done with the math thing there. What the hell happened with Adley Rutschman? This is what his numbers are right now. It's been 17 at-bats. I know it's a small sample size, but we gave up quite a bit for this. Could it be because he's rushed? Could it be because he wasn't ready? Or is this guy just not that good? John, we'll go to you first.
Well, I don't think that he was rushed back because the contingency on him on when he came back ended up being another top 10 prospect that went over to the Orioles. So I think that I don't think that the Red Sox would have rushed him back just because they had to give up another piece in order, if he did come back so quickly. So I think that what we're seeing out of him is just a guy that's trying to prove himself. And he's maybe going, he was in Oregon in college. He went over to the Orioles, and he's been there for 8 years. In their organization for 8 years. So he hasn't, he just hasn't been around. He's not a journeyman like a Patrick Sandoval or like an Isaiah Connor-Falefo, where it's just like, all right, new year, new team, same me. Like he's in a new environment. And I mean, look at Caleb Durbin. He started this year 0 for 18, and then he hit under 200 for another month and a half, 2 months. And obviously he's been great since then.
So I think that have the patience.
I agree. I agree. We don't have the time
or the patience. I can't.
I 100% agree, but it's just he's not comfortable. He's not. Maybe the wrist still nags him a little bit, but he's learning an entirely new pitching staff. If he wasn't a catcher, I'd be much more concerned. But he's dealing with a whole new set of pitchers every single day. He's dealing with, a new pitching coach, a new staff. He's learning I'm sure that they're giving him new philosophies at the plate that he's never heard of before in his life. He's just taking in a lot right now in a very short period of time. And he's probably he's been in a couple of really big spots already where he could have turned some losses that we've had into wins. And he hasn't. I think it's just him. He's trying to do too much at the plate, trying to prove himself here, where he just doesn't have to do that. Like, we all know that he's an all-star. He's one of the best catchers in baseball. He was the number 1 overall pick. He was supposed to. He was the face on what the Orioles, the new era of the Orioles was going to be. So I don't know.
The left hook is getting ready for you, John.
I'm not.
Give me one more excuse, and I will put you down the rabbit hole.
You throw me in advance, send me down the river like a couple months ago.
Down the river.
I'm not happy with it so far, but I'm also not I'm not losing my mind yet, because everybody knows who Adley Rutschman is. He has the track record.
I do.
I'm not freaking out about it yet, and I'll just leave it at that, because I know you got some heat on him.
I'm so pissed right now. You can tell everything from emotion from me. If there's one thing that can set fan base entirely off, like it has to me with him, is to come to a new team and be pure shit. And that's what he has been. Pure shit. So I hope that this is not a Caleb Durbin 2-month siesta where we have to wait for it and they miss the playoffs because he can't produce. So Adley, I like you from when you were in Baltimore, but I don't like you right now. You better turn it around, dude. Let's go to Thayer.
I think he's terrible and should retire. He's no good. He's useless. I want the guy who looks like Mario back up catching. He was a far superior player.
He is back. Woohoo!
I was going to say, Thayer, I got bad news for you.
It just 16 at bats is 4 games. Mm-hmm. He's had 4 bad games. He's not swinging. I don't know what to say. Baseball is an easy game, and everyone should be hitting 500 because the people that are on the other side, they're only sitting there trying to, they're not trying to get you out. Their job is to give up as many runs as possible. Now, granted, I know when we look at Sandoval, we think that's the case. But
he's a batting practice pitcher,
right.
So I mean,
and that's what we expect we expect all these guys to hit 500 and to hit basically 3 home runs a game, and that's just what it comes down to. So Rutschman sucks. He does. He's terrible. He's not handling the pitching staff. He didn't come in and basically take a guy who was a Cy Young Award winner and roll a shutout with him. Not at all. Did nothing of use there.
I'm so glad that you think exactly like me. It's just a pleasure.
Well, it's hard. It is hard. And I don't know what the excuse. I think that the wrist is still probably bothering him a little bit with his swing.
I think that's legitimately
watching his mechanics. he's pulling, whether it's the right hand, it's more from the right hand side because it was his left wrist. So he's really, when we've seen him face the lefties, he is sort of opening up and just trying to get at the fastball. I think that's part of it. He's pressing because the Red Sox aren't playing very well, and he understands why he came over here. He was brought over here to be the all-star, to be the professional, to be the number 2 or number 1 to Contreras, however you want to look at it, to be the calming voice. We spent an awful lot of capital to get him. He understands that too. It wasn't simply a haphazard move. He wasn't coming in 100% healthy, and he basically changed everything, moved to a brand new place, got thrown into it, and here you go. So I would love for him to be coming in here and just starting to, to hammer away. I hope it doesn't take as long as it did for Durbin to get there. I don't think it will. He is a professional, but
I do think he will find his place. A lot of this was me being my typical funny self and sick self, but I wanted to at least give you the numbers so that way you saw what the small sample size has been. It has not been a great 17 at bats so far, but it also hasn't even been a week yet. So I think that
exactly
this week coming back home, I personally think that one of his strengths that we'll see will be using the monster going opposite field, because we saw that in that series in Baltimore from him at least. Was it the at-bat against Chapman in the 9th that was Adley Rutschman? I believe it was. It was a double that was off the monster when he went Oppie Field, and it was very impressive. So I would only hope that approach can get used when he comes and settles himself in at Fenway Park. The other thing today, which was kind of ironic and comical, was Connor Wong was your 3-run home run guy.
Yeah,
I guess he's your
got
starter.
one.
We crapped on him quite a bit last season, but just quickly on Connor Wong. For a guy that we wanted to exile probably to the North Pole to help Santa and all of his elves, because he kind of looks like an elf, I'm glad that he figured it out, and he can be counted on again on this team again to give them somewhat of a production. So kudos to him.
From behind
he's a really good backup catcher.
Yep. And that's what he is. He's not a starter by any means. He'll play a couple games a week, and I'm fine with that. And I think it will make a nice balance with Adley Rutschman too. I think it will. And I think it will.
When he comes in, he's capable of handling the bat. He's a good bunter. He's smart. He's an athletic player, so it's not like you're bringing in, a Molina off the bench who you can't run or do anything with. When he's on the field, he's an athletic individual with some ability. He is an intelligent player, no question about that. You heard a lot about what sort of the impact he had on sort of running Rutschman through the pitching staff. I think that was a benefit to have him around. So
it was. Well, we'll see what happens this week with the return to Fenway Park. Moving on to our next segment. Everybody's favorite shortstop. Yep, he's coming, folks. To our surprise, because this did not really get a lot of coverage, I was pretty shocked to learn that Trevor Story began his rehab assignment today with Worcester. Went 1 for 2 at the plate, played 4 innings defensively. I would be stunned if we don't see him by maybe the weekend against the Giants. I would. And we have said, I know Jim has been a big lobbyist for this, wants Story nowhere near this team. I have changed my approach a little bit after John and I had a space with our friend Anthony. And I get it. I get where Anthony's take was from it. And it made me kind of rethink, okay, what do we have right now? We have Andrew Monasterio. Can't field with a lick at shortstop. Where would I rather Monasterio probably play? Second base. Do we have a problem at second base? Sure, because you're really not getting much production from your Sogard and your Sigler group that's there. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'll take a professional back to the team. Let's go to Thayer first. Where are you at with it?
I think he's coming. There's no other way to go to it. As soon as he's capable of playing, there's not like they're just going to sort of financially speaking, this is not what the Red Sox do. So he's going to be here. I do agree that having him play shortstop, I know there was some questions about it earlier in the chat, second base or shortstop. I think the team is overall better if he's playing shortstop because I think he's still better defensively than Montesterio is. And this will allow Montesterio to get some time off, to play some second base, to play a little first base. You can sort of put him back to his sort of platoon role, where he can spell Durbin. He can play second base. He can give Contreras some time off. That's what we've been lacking. Anyone that can really go in and play those positions and provide a spark. So if nothing else, he'll be there. We do know that he is an athletic baseball player. So that his ability to run and to do sort of things will play right into what they're doing. The only question is, will he be able to put the bat on the ball? Or is he going to be, the strikeout demon that he was earlier on? I honestly hope that his rehab takes him longer. He's not back on this homestand. I think they'd be better off getting him up to speed appropriately instead of having him try to catch up with what's going on because he's been out for so long. A week of baseball at the AAA level is not going to be enough. He's going to have to play multiple games, multiple days, get multiple at-bats, be able to come back the day after, 2 days after, that sort of thing. That's important because you can't rush him back. He needs to come back for his own sake and for the team's sake. He can't come back and be like Rutschman. He can't. He'll be crucified. And it'll be so much for him. He needs to come back almost on a hot streak. Otherwise, I think they're doing a miscarriage of justice for him and for the team.
If he comes back and goes,
that's what they do. They rush everybody.
If he comes back and goes 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, oh my God.
Right.
No, but I'm
I know Nick will go down there and probably try to throw him into Charles by himself.
I haven't been anywhere near Boston for any of this nonsense this season. Just want to make sure that's on record. Have not touched it with a 10-foot pole. Nope, not me.
Yeah, but I'm on the same camp as Thayer here. Today, obviously, he went 1 for 2 at the plate. I think he played 4 innings at shortstop. I haven't seen any video on if he got any balls hit to him there, but hitting wise, I saw both of his at bats. And his first at bat, he immediately went down 0-2, and it was like, oh, all right, Trevor Story's back. But then he saw another 7 pitches that at bat. It was a 9-pitch at bat, and he flew out to center field, but he fouled off a couple pitches. He took some, he had some good takes, and then obviously in the second at bat, he had a single in the shortstop third base hole. But yeah, Thayer's right. He needs to play 7 games in 8 or 9 days in Worcester, I think, for him to just get his, get the feet wet, be comfortable with playing every day, be comfortable with being in the field, hitting, doing it back-to-back days. Because again, if he comes back and it's, he plays the first game and then has to sit for a day or has to DH for a day, and he's the bat that we saw in the beginning of the year, all the people that are on the train now of like, here comes Trevor Story, like Red Sox, we're getting a big reinforcement. He's going to have little to no supporters if he does have any right now. And I don't want, and I don't think any of you guys want, or anybody that is a Red Sox fan wants to see Trevor Story come back not at 100%.
And there's
the only reason I went with this coming back this week is because this is what the Red Sox do.
Mm-hmm.
They think that you're good to go after a game or two. Oh yeah, you're fine. Back to the team. We need you.
If you can get up out of your chair the day after, you're fine.
That's why I'm saying it's probably going to happen on Friday.
I hope not, but you're right.
I'm telling you. So be prepared for it, and you guys hit the nail on the head. His first game back, he'll go 0 for 4 with 4 Ks, and I'll be screaming off the rooftop, what is your ever-loving problem playing Trevor Story on this team? Why is he still here? Blah, 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 blah. It's going to happen, fans, so get ready. It's going to happen. I'm telling you right now.
And I think an added benefit to him being in Worcester is you have, like him or not, Trevor Story is a professional who has played over a decade in the major leagues, that has experience, that understands how the game is played and what you need to do to be successful to get to this level. Because, yes, we think he stinks, but he is a Major League Baseball player, and that's like 0.1% of the general population. Who is your number one asset that everyone keeps talking about? Arias. And where is he sitting right now? Who does he not have anyone to really learn from? Because all the guys that are of any consequence in Worcester have already been brought up to the Red Sox. He will have, hopefully, someone that he can bounce some ideas off, that he can watch actually play the position, that he can work with and practice with and sort of watch his daily routines and get a little bit of understanding of just how important certain aspects of your preparation are moving forward. So what the Red Sox should do is, instead of rushing him back to save this team, because this team needs a lot more than Trevor Story, and we talked about it, they have to survive for like 2 weeks before things start to go back to they get the rest up. Him coming back isn't going to be the same. Use those 2 weeks to, 1, get him ready to go, and 2, also get Arias to understand and to learn from this man a little bit more. 2 benefits that hopefully this front office isn't going to miss that opportunity.
Yeah, you think Trevor Story wants to do that, though? Mentor Arias?
Yeah. He's in Worcester. He doesn't care. The worst case scenario is this guy comes up and Trevor, he's still going to get paid. He has a contract. Next year, they're not going to play anyway. It doesn't matter. And what's going to be the worst thing that happens to him? They sort of DFA him but still pay his contract, or move him to second base.
Yeah,
I know
Trevor Story
that came in earlier about the whole second and short. I think he's going to go to short, guys.
I do too.
I really do.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he'll be the you're not going to keep having Monasterio play shortstop with Trevor Story on the team. But Trevor Story got asked about after the game today about Franklin Arias, and
okay,
he not too much at all. Honestly, the way I kind of took it was, as far as this moment, he really doesn't want to hear about it, because he's got things to worry about. But he said he's excited to see him play. He's buzzing around the league, and guys are taking note. And he's special player, special talent. And then he said he's like, it's cool to get eyes on him, and you could tell he's going to be really good for a long time. So I don't know. It's kind of weird reading that, just because I think Trevor Story is he does know that this 20-year-old is probably going to be playing his position next year. Or, if shit hits the fan, maybe this
Mayer
year.
was supposed to be playing his position too.
That's true. That's true. I mean,
they come and they go. He understands how it works.
But I outside of telling Arias to charge every single ground ball and you can't make a good throw unless you're on the run, outside of that, I think everything that he has to say about playing shortstop would be very beneficial.
Yes.
We're going to move out of the infield and now to the outfield, or DH if you want to talk that route. And Roman Anthony will begin his rehab assignment on Tuesday, starting in Worcester. How do we feel about this one, gents?
I feel the same way as I do a Story, that this is not something that can't be rushed. He needs to, just start to get his at-bats in, do what he has to do. Again, he hasn't played for months. So it's not like he can just sort of jump into the fray and start making contact and doing his thing. He needs to see pitches. He needs to be put in situations. I hope they don't rush him back. But again, this is the Red Sox, so you're probably right. We'll see him in about a week.
Yeah.
If you look at the calendar right now, we have roughly a week left or so, 2 weeks left of August. and that would mark next Monday would be the 31st. If it's 2 weeks of time, that would be about a September 1 outlook for it for 2 weeks down there. I personally think that that's what I would like, but I think that this is going to be cut in half by a week.
I think it also depends on Duran. If Duran figures anything out and can be somewhat productive, that'll push that return back.
Not likely.
Yeah, I think that,
I don't think it's likely.
and I think for Roman in his as he rehabs, because he's going to be in, I think he's starting in Portland actually, not in Worcester. And what I think is going to happen is he's going to be, I'd assume, probably 3 to 4 games just DHing in Portland. Get a feel seeing live pitching in a game setting again, and then he'll go to Worcester, and that's where I think we'll start to see him in the field. And as far as when he comes back, I mean they have 6 games. They have the 3 games against D-backs, 3 games against the Giants, and then it's a 7 game road trip against the Marlins and then against the Yankees. Those 4 Yankee games are going to be very important, and that starts on August 28th. Like that 4-game set against the Yankees in New York could very well make or break the entire season. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're looking at like Tuesday the 25th, which gives him about 10 days to rehab. So in that Miami series,
Tuesday the 25th, you're saying?
I'd assume Monday the 24th. I think in that Miami series is when we'll see.
Well, I don't know why they wouldn't just take him on the flight then on a Sunday. Why would John Henry pay extra money to fly out another player?
Yeah,
I'm just being logical.
You're right. That's unfortunate. That's where we're at.
It is.
I don't know. Maybe just the Yankee series. That now that I really think about it,
so that would be
Friday the 28th, and he gets an extra couple days. Yeah. Just again with both of these guys, I really just.
But they'll make them.
They have to be 100%. There can't if they come up and they're not ready to go. I'd rather have the 4A guys still playing. I get that Roman Anthony's a ridiculously special talent, and Trevor Story's, he's a veteran, and he knows what he's doing. Obviously, he hasn't performed that great, but
I'm going to be.
If they're not 100%, it's tough.
I want to make a statement, and I want to say that I am worried, and I'm worried not for Roman and Trevor Story. I'm worried that the Red Sox are going to do something that hurts the two of these guys in actually producing and being back to their form with the team because of being rushed up here. I really am. That is my biggest concern right here. I am not worried about the players themselves. I'm worried that the Red Sox are going to do something that is catastrophic to both of these guys where we're left putting our hands up saying, what the hell is going on again? That's what I'm concerned about right now, telling you the truth.
They're going to get desperate. And this is kind of what we've been talking about with Craig Breslow as the year was going on. And they, when Kennedy said after the firing that it's now on Breslow, and they gave him control of the deadline, and he did what he did. He did all right, but we talked about it at the time where he didn't get the starting pitcher that they needed. And now we're clearly seeing that. He got a little bit of bullpen help, but he didn't get the shortstop. Maybe this is where it's coming back. But I am concerned that the way the Red Sox ownership runs things, that Breslow still feels that his job is on the line. And it's very possible that it is. And if his job is on the line, he is going to do what is necessary in his eyes to get the Red Sox into the playoffs. And the sooner he gets these players back, the better it could be for him.
Yeah, I think you couldn't have said that any better right there. I really can't. I would like to jump into next because we're hitting the 1 hour mark, because when the three of us are together, we don't shut up. That's our big problem here. One thing that Jim's good with is he cuts you off. I'm a nice host. He's not. So I like everybody to say their piece. You hear that, Jim? That one's for you. Shots fired. So stay away. next up, pitching probables. So we have a 3-game set, which will be at Fenway. And I am going to do my favorite thing on earth, where I share my screen, because chat did not do a very good job of making graphics. They thought Garrett Crochet and some other guys also were throwing. So we're not going on that route with chat. So we will do this. Is that shared now? Can you guys see that on the screen?
Yeah, you just need to get rid of the probables graphic.
Oh, yes, I do. Boing. All right. For some reason, it's not doing what we typically do on the share screen. So I'm just going to zoom in so people can see it. I'm on the other screen. Does that look okay? Can people see that now?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So the Diamondbacks, they're 66-59 on the season, managed by old friend Torey Lovello. Kind of interesting how the Red Sox record and the Diamondbacks pretty equal, if you look at that. Mitch Bratt will be throwing against the TBD is Alec Gamboa with Brian Bayo beginning, I would assume, the second inning, guys.
Probably.
Something like that. So that's your Monday. Those are your Mondays, guys. We're going to slide over and look at Tuesday. Merrill Kelly having a pretty rough season, 8-10 with a 5.11 ERA up against Ranger, the big chalupa, Suarez, who is 4-3 with a 3.25. I'm actually surprised Suarez's ERA is that kind of low. But again, that's because he really hasn't pitched that many innings. And then we're going to go to Wednesday. Wednesday is an afternoon game at 4:10. And that is Brandon, who is 7-1 with a 3.11. He's having a great season so far there for the Diamondbacks, up against our Lord and Savior, Peyton Tolley, 8-6 with a 2.97. Fantastic numbers. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm coming back to Planet Earth. Let's go to John first. Where you at for the series? What do you expect?
I'm going to take 2 out of 3. And that's
You're
just because the Red Sox need to take 2 out of 3. Mitch Bratt. I can't imagine there's too many people that are very familiar with him. It's a 3.74 ERA on the season, which I'm pretty sure we saw up on the pitching probables list. It's only 33 innings, so he doesn't have a ton of track record here, but his last 3 times out, it was 5 innings with 1 earned against the Guardians, 7 shutout innings with 9 strikeouts against the Padres, and then 6 innings of 2-run ball against the Rockies. It was a 3.74 ERA. I don't know what to expect with him. The Red Sox are not swinging the bats well right now, so I don't know what to expect as far as tomorrow goes. Maybe they put up 5 on him in the first 3 innings. Maybe he throws 5 no-hit innings against the Red Sox tomorrow. So
you're not going to say it?
Say what?
I'll say it then. I'm surprised you didn't say it. So you think the Red Sox should give him a spanking because he's a brat?
They should, but
spanky spank. Give him a spank. Send him to their room.
As far as the series goes, really, they should win 2 out of 3. They should sweep the series. Are you scared of Mitch Bratt, Merrill Kelly, who, I mean, you go back a year ago, a lot of people were pretty pissed off that he wasn't on the Red Sox, and then Brandon Pfaadt, who, since he's come back recalled from the minor leagues, the guy's been lights out. But again, that's against Peyton Tolley, who
very gassy,
who we all know right now as the Lord and Savior, as Nick would say it, of the Red Sox. But yeah, I'm not scared of any of these pitching matchups, even with somebody throwing the first inning that's not a starter tomorrow. They should win 2 out of 3. They probably should sweep, but this team keeps playing like how they have been. Things can go south very quick. But 2 out of 3, optimistically.
Are you going to be a brat, Thayer? Tell us.
So, John, I am not afraid of Brat. I'm not afraid of, Kelly, and I'm not afraid of Fad. But what I am afraid of is Nick Sogard. I'm afraid of the current rendition of Ceddanne Rafaela. I'm afraid of Jaron Duran.
Oh, I'm petrified. Don't even say afraid. You're
Siegel,
petrified.
or Siegler, and I'm slightly afraid of the rendition of Adley Rutschman that we're seeing. So, and what I'm extremely petrified of is, God forbid we get a lead, and the pitchers that we have going are not going to get us into the ninth inning. So it's not going to go to Chapman. It's going to go to the seventh inning, and it's going to go to the eighth inning. And yes, we do have Miller. I've been impressed with Miller, but we don't have Whitlock. Like him or hate him, we don't have Slaten. It's just one less person. And Guerrero, based on what we've seen now, he hasn't thrown. So hopefully a couple days off are going to do him wonders. But I'm very nervous of what the seventh and eighth innings are going to look like in any of these baseball games.
Well, I heard good news, just to let you know.
Yep.
Greg Weissert has been upgraded from unleaded pumper at the gas station to super premium. I heard that.
Good. Excellent.
No more diesel. No more 89.
No
more 87. He's a supreme super guy now. You heard it here.
I have faith in Tolley. I am, this is really a prove it game for Suarez. He cannot come out and give you 4, because you're going to have to deal with Bayo. Hopefully Bayo can do what he does and get you, if Gamboa can avoid giving up 18 runs in the first inning, Bayo can come, hopefully handle the second through the seventh for you. He'll get you through 6. Then you can deal with the, maybe you can take that game. Fool me once, shame on.
Yep.
On you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I say the Red Sox are going to take 1 out of 3.
You guys know the last time that Ranger Suarez threw 6 innings?
April?
Was it May?
It was June.
No.
It was
June,
the first
like
5-game win streak of the year. It was that first game against the Nationals right after the Yankee series. Since then, it's been 2.2, which was obviously what the start that landed him on the IL.
Yep.
4 innings, 4.2, 3 innings, and then 5 innings. We're trending in the right direction. Yeah. 2.2, 4, 4.2, 3, and 5. Definitely trending in the right direction, but it is 100%.
Well, if he keeps
very,
trending in the
very big
direction
start
that he's
for
at
Ranger
right
Suarez.
now, he's going to be the receptionist dude at Taco Bell when I get my Supreme.
But that's what's killing us, the fact that the
ridiculous.
starting pitchers aren't going deep enough
Yeah.
in these players. And like you said, there's really no bulk guy. They're really it's Bayo, but Bayo is, for all intents and purposes, a starter. So they're just planning on throwing him every 5th day, hopefully getting as many innings as they possibly can out of him.
And you need him. So hopefully that we see a great bullpen Bayo tomorrow, because you need him to, again, save some arms and trust. If they can go Gamboa for an inning and a half to 2, say he comes and goes, gives you 2. That's gravy. And then you go from the 3rd through the 7th, 8th with Bayo. Oh, that would be wonderful.
Ultimately, they need
the
to
ball
score
over to Chapman would be just tremendous.
Yep.
So that's where tomorrow is the wild card of them all. I can't tell you that I have faith in Ranger Suarez. I can't tell you that's a win right now. I'm sorry, folks. I know he has a track record, but until the guy proves it, every single time he comes out there, and he's one of my probables that's throwing, I'm giving him a loss right now until he earns my trust again, because I don't have it right now. And then you have the Wednesday game, Tolley against Brandon Pfaadt. I think that That I'm giving a wild card again on, because I just don't know when Tolley or if Tolley is going to have a meltdown game.
Yeah.
Meaning that he just is over the innings limit. He's not himself. He's not sharp. He's not crisp. I just feel it's going to come. I hope it doesn't come on Wednesday. So that's the one I'm looking at where I'm saying I want to give that one at least a win. I'm going on the win route on that. My wild card again is the Monday game. I'll be different. John, you said a sweep, right?
No, 2 out of 3.
And Thayer, you a 1 out of 3?
Yep.
I'm changing it. I'm going to change it. I'm going to go sweep. I'm going to go 2 out of 3 Red Sox. And I'm going to go with tomorrow a win, Tuesday a loss, and Wednesday a win. That's where I'm at right now. And I'm nervous with that suggestion. Usually when I come out, I'm not wishy-washy, but I'm so back and forth on this because I don't know what you're going to get out of the bullpen. I don't know how the lineup's going to respond back to coming to Fenway Park. I just I'm uncertain on it, and I don't like giving our fans that with me, but I'm sorry. This is what you get. I'm going 2 out of 3, win Monday, lose Tuesday, win Wednesday. That's where we're going. Let's go to comments so we can wrap this up because Monday's calling and I'm not happy about it. Comment section is here. All right. First comment up was from Michael. Michael said, take Duran and Sogard and send them to what trash heap you got Sogard from. He is not a major league player. Well, Michael, many of them aren't. I still like Nick Sogard. I still do. I think the kid is going to be a major league talent. I don't think that he's ready, though, right now, guys. I just don't. I keep saying that it's not his year. When's it going to be? I don't know. I still look at him and I think there's a guy that gives me a Jed Lowry style baseball player. And I'd love him to be somewhat of a version of him. Now, Duran, you can do whatever you want with him. Moving on. Yes, they are not very good right now. And then Mr. Goat says this Red Sox team is sorry now, really lose a series to a team. You should be able to win a series against the Pirates. I know the Pirates have been down in the dumps, but so haven't the Red Sox. But I think that you lost being able to take advantage of something from this trip. I mean, the Blue Jays were also not that great, and the Blue Jays made you look like you were the last place team in baseball. Yep. So that's where we're at with that. Back to Michael again. The way the team wins when 1-4 goes 0 for 14. Real bunch of losers. They don't really have consistent hitting right now. They just don't. They are what they are right now. I guess this Red Sox team is not as good as we all thought as fans. The Red Sox blank right now. I just think that month streak that we went on, I still don't, I'm dumbfounded. I still shake my head at it and look at it and say, how did we do what we did? But again, like I explained earlier on the show, it has to do with timely hitting. You got tremendous pitching. Your pitching was amazing, starting pitching. The quality starts you got. The bullpen was lights out. The situational hitting was tremendous. The bunting, all these sorts of things just worked. And clutch hitting happened from that too. Back to Jules World Series, ... not even postseason. I disagree with this, and I'm disagreeing with it because the rest of the American League is just crap. You have what, a 5-game lead right now? And I think you still gain ground today, even with the loss that happened. I just don't see how you can lose out here and not make the postseason. You'll be a wild card team. It'll be like last season again. Maybe you'll draw the Yankees again first round. Who knows? Yeah.
But I just don't think that this team is not making the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're 3-7 in their last 10, and they've lost half a game in the wild card standings.
Yep.
The whole league stinks. They're going to be in the playoffs. It's just a matter of who they're playing and where they're playing.
Yep. Back to the same thing. I don't see it happening. I mean, if this is another 2011 collapse, then we have a firing squad on the last day of the season, and maybe that's what would have to happen to make a massive statement and turnaround. Who knows? Story if
not
he
the one
comes
from
back,
April.
No, not the one from April. Even worse, John. Even worse. They might even fire us. That's what I heard.
Hey, who else do they have to fire?
Anyone affiliated with any part of the baseball
That's
team.
right. That's right. Story if he comes back, will he play second or short? Shortstop. I just do not see anything happening right now with moving him to second base. I don't. The Red Sox need a shortstop right now more than they do a second baseman. And Monasterio plays a better second base than short. So it's just that's what's going to happen. The one thing we didn't mention, Franklin Arias. You think he's coming up or no? What do you think, Thayer?
Thayer thinks no. Craig Breslow thinks yes.
Mm-hmm. John?
No chance. At this point, no chance. Going back last week, I think is when conversations really ramped up about if it could be a possibility around Franklin Arias. Now that Trevor's story is actually on a rehab assignment, I just don't see it happening. Again, you have to add him to the 40-man. There's a lot of obstacles in the way of it. I think that Christian Campbell's a much higher probability of getting recalled. Just Franklin Arias at this point, and especially if you select Franklin Arias and there isn't a season next year, or they're in a work stoppage for any significant amount of time, he's not able to be down in the minor league camps and getting work done there. He has to be out on his own, working with just like personal trainers instead of with anyone affiliated with the Red Sox. So I think just considering what the circumstances are with that, it's going to be a lot harder to bring Franklin Arias up at this point.
Yeah, I think so too. Mr. Goat again said it's time to panic. They lost 3 straight series, 2 teams that they should have won a series against on the road. Hey, I'm as mad as anything right now, and I'm kind of checked out as well on how it's been, but because of how the rest of the league just sits, we've lost what did you say? We lost a half a game?
Half a game in their last 10, going 3-7.
That's just how bad it is with other teams that are trying to fight for a playoff spot. That's your Twins. Who is it? It's the Twins, Tigers,
Guardians.
Indians, or Guardians. Yep.
Yeah, Rangers, Blue Jays, Mariners.
The only one that made out anything was the Blue Jays, but they're so far down that they're not going to leapfrog what's going on here. Don't put all your hope in Roman. It's just a matter of what happens on this rehab and how he adjusts back up here. We just don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with it. Wrists are a very tricky thing, as we're seeing with Adley Rutschman right now. It's a time. It takes time to heal and get yourself back to being a baseball player and hitting the ball again. Okay, but there's no excuses for the Red Sox to lose 3 straight series on the road. The Red Sox should be doing better than that. I 100% agree, but this is what our roster is right now. Now you're getting exactly what we saw at the beginning of the season with mismanagement from roster management. That's what you're seeing. They should be able to win a series against the Pirates. The Red Sox, what the heck is going on with the team? We're in the dog days of August. You've got a bunch of 4A players playing, and it's just not happening. I'm going to skip down just a couple down here because a lot of this is kind of the same comments that we're seeing. This was a good one from Michael Lynch. He was Rutschman back up here. So that was good. Here's another one from Michael. Roman is not Larry Bird going to save the Red Sox like Bird saved the Celtics. I don't even think it's fair to put Roman Anthony and Larry Bird in the same sentence. That's ridiculous. Mercy. How much do you think the Meade injury changed the timetable of Rutschman's return? I don't think it had anything to do with it. Nothing. I think
disagree.
they'd love to have Curtis Meade. You disagree? Go ahead.
I disagree. I think that when he got hurt and then they made the trade for Rutschman and Rutschman wasn't ready, everyone was concerned that the offensive players that you went for weren't here. And I think they probably moved Rutschman through his rehab a little quicker than they would have liked to, because for Breslow, there's just a bad sort of image of the two players I wanted offensively are not here doing anything for this team.
Sure, but you think if Rutschman wasn't moved at all, he would have played for the Orioles in the past couple of days, or no?
I think the Orioles would have been very slow in bringing him back. I think the question was from the standpoint of, do you think that the Meade injury changed the timetable? I think if Meade hadn't gotten drilled and they made the trade for Rutschman, they would have been able to sort of forego bringing him back so quickly. But I think what Breslow is looking at is, I made a trade for Meade and I'm getting nothing out of it. I made a trade for Rutschman. I made a couple other minor trades, and I brought in really the only guy that he's brought in that has any impact is Miller.
Yeah.
And we were talking about wanting a catcher and wanting a pitcher and wanting a shortstop and doing all these things. And he gave up the farm literally for Rutschman, and he's sitting there 2-3 days post-trade deadline, a week post-trade deadline, and the only thing he had, to prove that he did anything at all was Miller. So I think they probably moved him up a little quicker than they probably would have if Meade had been playing with us.
Do you guys think that if Curtis Meade did not get injured, would Craig Breslow have made this deal still for Adley Rutschman?
Probably.
I think he would have. I think he would have played harder to get in what the return package was.
Yeah.
See, I think that this was still on the table for a deal to be made. I think the problem that we saw here again was that negotiation strategy with teams. He told every team, this is his package. He didn't work hard enough, or his team of minions didn't do enough that said, oh, well, this team can have this sort of thing, and this team can have this option, and this other one can deal with this. All the other teams talked to each other and said, look at these bozos in Boston. This is what they're offering. What player is it? I just thought it was lazy, is what I'm trying to say. Lazy, not researched enough, not worked hard enough. It's like you shot your shot for everything instead of having other avenues to explore. But I think that has to do with the bad communication style that Breslow kind of has for a track record now across baseball. He's a very tough GM to deal with. We have heard that ad nauseum for a lot of teams right now. He is not somebody that they enjoy working with. This is our comment from Betty. Peacock has the game for the Giants. That's probably the Sunday game then?
Could be Friday.
Let's take a look and see what it is. Friday night, we have a 7:10, a 7:15, and then a 3:10 game. The 3:10 is actually a Peacock game. So we have a Friday night, a Saturday night game, and then a 3:10 game on Sunday.
Yeah, Friday. All right, Friday. Yeah, Friday. Yeah, so Saturday's Peacock, and then Sundays on Fox.
Sunday's Fox and not Peacock?
I think Saturday's Peacock.
No, Saturday's Fox. I'm seeing Fox.
Flop it then. Sunday's Peacock,
yeah.
Saturday's Fox.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's what I'm seeing. The next thing was from Betty. Compared to AAA players, Trevor Story is tops. She would bring up Chang, Story to second, and Campbell up. I know we've kind of chatted about this a little bit. I have to disagree on this. Chang, for defensive purposes, makes sense. But Trevor Story's not going to be moving to second base right now. And I personally do not want to bring up Christian Campbell. I don't know what you guys feel.
No.
I think he needs spring training and to truly see if he can do it, not in the middle of a playoff run right now. I think that's too much pressure, and we already saw what that happened when they don't need him to break him again.
Sure. So I agree with that, but I also have to say they said last year that this kid was completely broken, just not a Major League Baseball player anymore because of when did he go down? In the middle of June last year? Is when he got sent down. I think it was in June when he finally got sent down to the minor leagues. He had a higher OPS then than Jarren Duran does right now. So I get it. It is kind of tough to bring him back up because then it is like just him directly competing with Jarren Duran for that left field spot until, 10, 12 days from now when Roman Anthony returns. But I think Christian Campbell deserves it. I think that he can provide something. It is a weird situation because of the playoff push, but I don't think that it's going to, if he were to come up and say you send down Nick Sogard again with Trevor Story back at shortstop and then Monasterio could play second base. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but I understand why there is hesitancy on it.
Betty goes, Roman should be the DH, and she also hopes that they don't rush him and that they need to leave him alone. I think we'll see a rotation of DH for Roman and Duran. I think that will be there. I don't know 100% right now who I have more confidence in when Roman Anthony gets up. I guess I'm going to need to see how he does in left field, but we already did see an earlier play this season. I know he made an adjustment with it, but with his yo-yo arm, when he couldn't throw out a runner from home plate, I think we all kind of had a conversation about that. I think it was back in May, most likely. But I think if Duran is doing something for production-wise, I probably have a little bit more faith maybe in Duran because he's played the season out there than I would with Roman. And then he would slot into DH now with Yoshida being on the IL. What do you think?
I don't know.
They got to get back first.
Yeah.
But I think a rotation of DHing and playing in the field is something that's probably going to happen.
Most likely.
The reason I put this one up because I'm just looking through comments to see which ones need to be there. Rob Parker is an imbecile, so never believe a word out of that piece of trash's mouth. He's a has-been. Let's see if any other comments are there.
Hit the music, Nick.
Yeah, we've hit the hour 30 mark, folks. We're done. We hope everybody else has a great rest of their evening. We will see you all soon. Go Red Sox. See ya later this week.